Yeah, deal YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. I am going to be discussing 5 or 6 ways that you can improve your personal statement. I've been asked by a few people to give advice about how you can write your personal statement and make it be the thing that really wows the admission committee. Writing a personal statement can be very stressful, can be a little bit overwhelming, especially if you have an application that is not the best. Like your GPA may be kind of low, or you might have a bunch of C's, D's, or F's, or withdrawals on your transcript. Those things can of course put dents in your pretty package of why you should be chosen as a student for a particular university. And so a personal statement can really be a deal breaker for a lot of schools to say, okay, they have these flaws, but I can see that they're actually a good student, they have the passion, they have the drive, and I'm going to give them a chance. And so we're going to discuss a couple of tips to help you create the best version of your personal statement that you can create. I am not a writer by nature. God did not bless me with that gene when he was giving me a bunch of skills and tools to use in life. He gave me math and science. He did not give me writing, reading. He barely gave me English. You know, he just skipped over that gene for me. So when it comes to writing personal statements, I take it very seriously because I know that I could be a step away from sounding like a complete fool or sounding just unintelligent. See what I mean? Yeah. The first step I would say is to brainstorm. Unless you're someone that writing just comes extremely naturally for and you can just dive right into an assignment, then just kind of take some time to brainstorm. And with a personal statement, you want to brainstorm your life. You want to be introspective. You want to take some time to kind of figure out why you are in the position you're in, what motivates you, what moves you, what encourages you on a day-to-day basis, what is driving you to pursue nursing or whatever career it is you're pursuing. You want to make sure you're able to answer these questions. It's pretty much like giving yourself an interview. You know, when you go into a job interview and they're like, well, why do you want this job? You know, besides the fact that I need money. I want this job because, you know, blank. And it's really something that you're going to have to answer. And though I know it can be annoying to try to figure out like why this or why that, like it can seem so obvious to you in your soul, especially when you're passionate about something, but they're not able to know that. And a personal statement is really you relaying all of your innermost emotions and passions about your career to the admissions committee. And it's really important that that comes across, because the only thing that's setting you apart a lot of times in these personal statements is however much of your personality you're able to put across. And you want to show them that you are a likable, personable, responsible, proactive, headstrong person. So you got to try and fit in all of these character traits and qualities into a short page or two, depending on whatever the requirement is. Once you've taken some time to brainstorm, and you can do that literally by typing, you can do it on your phone in your notes section if you have an iPhone. I don't know what it is on an Android, honey, but make sure you take some time to write. You can handwrite it if you're somebody who prefers to handwrite. It doesn't have to be anything formal. Just take some time and reflect on yourself and your life and the reason why you are passionate about your career choice. After you've done the first thing, the second thing I would say is to try to find a hook story or a hook line that you can start off your personal statement with. A hook story is pretty much exactly as it sounds. You hook in your reader and you make them feel like, oh my gosh, I have to read more, or I have to learn more about this person. How did this candidate get into this situation, and how does she get from point A to point B? You want to create kind of a scenario in which the reader cannot stop reading, or they feel compelled to continue to learn more about you, because that really is what the personal statement is, right? You're just trying to get them to learn about you and look at you as kind of a more holistic person, and not just your stats, not your GPA, not your HESI score. You want them to look at you as a person. And so a hook story could be anything from, like, you know, say you're a CNA and you had a patient who had diarrhea. It was a rainy day in Atlanta, and patient in room 532 had her 15th spell of explosive diarrhea, and all of the other techs were extremely busy. And though she was my patient, I felt compelled to go, you know, just, I don't know, I'm just making up anything at this point. But you want to write something that makes the reader go, wow, like this person really stepped up. You know, whatever emotion or character trait you're trying to portray, just make sure it comes through in that story. I'm not saying write about diarrhea, y'all. Write about whatever y'all can, but make sure you grab their attention from the jump. For me, I think I used my history in the hospital. You know, I have my history of lupus, and I've been sickly since I was about 6 years old. So between the ages of 6 and like yesterday, I've been in and out of the hospital. So that was what I really focused on with my letter, was basically connecting how I became passionate about healthcare because I was personally affected by healthcare workers, my nurses, even my doctors, my PAs, my nurse practitioners. All of them played a critical role in me feeling as good as I do about this line of profession, because they all treated me so well. They took such good care of me. Yeah, they just did everything that they were supposed to do, and I am grateful to them always. If you don't personally have any experience being hospitalized, maybe you have a sick family member or someone who you've seen go through it and you helped care for them. You know, just try and make it really personal. Make it be apparent why you are getting into this career. If you're someone who is a career changer, maybe you were like on Wall Street first, or you know, some kind of business kind of career, then in that instance you might just want to say something simple like you're looking to find a more fulfilling career, into something that you feel like you'll be making more of a difference in. You want to feel like you're actually effecting change somewhere. There's a lot of different ways and different routes you can go to create this personal statement and make it the best possible for you. So just take some time to work that out for yourself. Number 3, after you've done those things, is to make sure you revise. So once you have written out like a rough draft version of your personal statement, revise it. Revise. Take time to go back and read through it, because we've all been guilty of writing something and being like, damn, that came out perfect, like all in one shot. You think it's perfect, but in reality you got some grammar mistakes that would make you look really unfavorable. If you're someone like me who you're not that great at English, or you know, English is not your first language, or which is the case for me also, if that's you, if you are me, if we are one, then you want to consult someone else who is good at these things. So I always send my papers to my sister and my best friend, because they studied English in college, and you know, they do that for fun and stuff like that. I can utilize them to help me get through these things. You can also, even if you have connects with an admission counselor, you could even talk to them to try and get their insight as to how they feel about it. Otherwise, give it to someone who you know speaks properly, who texts you in full sentences, who talks to you well. You know what I'm saying? Don't give it to your friend who shorthands everything and is completely colloquial and a bunch of slang, because that's not going to be too good for your paper, and they may like miss things as well. I'm not saying that you can't be colloquial and good at English at the same time, because a lot of people code switch, but I'm saying that you don't want to take chances with your paper, and you want to make sure you have somebody who is really good at editing. The purpose of having the second or third or fourth pair of eyes is that you tried your best to look through it, but maybe you missed something and you want them to catch whatever you missed. If you go to Chamberlain specifically, applying with Chamberlain, I actually had to handwrite my personal statement when I went to apply, and so I actually have it here still. I found it a couple weeks ago. Make sure if you're going to Chamberlain that you are writing legibly if you're writing out your personal statement. Otherwise, if you're typing it, you know, don't worry about that part. So I'm sitting here editing, and I just wanted to point out that if you go to Chamberlain specifically, or you're trying to go to Chamberlain, the personal statement is literally like a page with 2.5 prompts. So it's called Turn Your Passion into Purpose. And the first paragraph is, what is your passion for becoming a registered nurse? And then it says to put your inspiration or your motivations behind becoming a registered nurse, or your career goals. And that's literally like 7 lines or so that you have. And then the second prompt is, my journey to becoming a registered nurse includes, and so you can put success stories, failures, maybe if you've been to nursing school before and you know you're starting over, or you're changing careers, like that's what you can put there. And again, it's only like 7 lines. And then the last part is, my support system includes, and it's literally 1 line. And so you can put like your parents, your family, your spouse, whatever, but it's really not that much. So for the Chamberlain application, it's just like 2 paragraphs and a sentence that you have to put for your personal statement. You definitely want to make sure you have no grammatical errors. You have to remember that we're going into a professional field of work, and they want to have people who can portray the company in a professional and respectable light. And so that's something you got to always keep in mind no matter what you're applying for. So number 4, I would say, is for the love of God and all things fine and dandy, do not at any point in your personal statement say that you want to be a nurse because you want to help people. Don't do it. They'll throw your paper right in the trash. Make it more profound. Make it more personal to you. If they ask you why you want to be a nurse, you have to add more than you want to help people. Tell them why. Like for me, something that's very important to me as to why I really want to go into labor and delivery is the fact that the maternal mortality rate in Black and brown people is so high. And I feel like it has to do with a lack of care for our people. And it's very like extremely important to me that I am able to affect a change in that field, because I want outcomes for our moms to be better. And that's something that moves me, it pushes me, it motivates me, it drives me. And so I'm able to write about that, and I'm able to talk about that very easily. So that's why in the first step, you have to be introspective and learn what motivates and what moves you, so that you're able to also talk and write about it very easily. Yes, you want to help people, don't we all? But what exactly specifically do you want to do, and what are you hoping to gain out of your long-term career as a nurse? Last but not least, I would say, if possible, to tailor your statement to the specific school, program, or hospital that you're applying for. A lot of times you have multiple places you're applying to and you just want to use one generic statement, but at the end of your statement you can like just even add like a small blurb that's like, that is why Chamberlain University is the school that will help me achieve these goals, or I believe that Mercer is a school that's going to help me achieve these goals, or I'm hoping that, you know, just add something that makes it a little bit more personal to that specific program. And then you can also do something like, you know, you could look up the mission statement of the school and kind of align that to your personal statement. So if the mission statement is changing lives every day, then you could be like, I want to change lives every day. Make it like so that the person reading it is like, huh, they would be a good fit here. This is already what motivates them, then they're going to be perfect for our team. So you just want to make sure you're able to do that as well. Those are my tips for how you can write your personal statement and make it the best version for you. I hope that this is very helpful to those who have asked for it. If you have any more questions about what else you should do or not do for your personal statement, make sure you comment them down below and I will go through and answer them. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching, and look more.